Hey folks, welcome back to the channel, it's Angel, and today we're looking at the Flysimware Cessna 414. Now this is a beta product, however, this is a paid beta, as in you can buy in early, buy the aircraft from the developer, Flysimware, and get hold of it. It is technically a paid beta like you do a lot of AAA games these days, where you can buy it at a lower introductory price, which is $40, and obviously it'll go up after it's finished in beta. You can experience it, you can report back any bugs and issues, and but you can get to access it early. That is what I've done. So I have purchased this myself with my own money. Now originally I screwed up, and the developer actually helped me out. In a blur of doing too many things at once, picked up the FSX version, and they helped me out there. But obviously it's not going to be always possible, it just depends. Like in this case, I'm a dumbass, to be brutally honest. But the 414 is of course made by Cessna. It is a pressurized aircraft, and it was originally evolved from the 421, and it uses the wing design of the 401. Now this aircraft of course runs, or the original version had two wing mounted 310 horsepower Continental TSIO 520Js. This is the AW model, which is looking at that, running the TSIO 520NB flat 6s, again at 310 horsepower, singular. What am I saying? It has a maximum speed of 235 knots and a cruise speed in the low 200s. This aircraft can operate up to 30,000 feet, although probably not very well, and a range of 1,328 nautical miles. It can take up to 8 passengers, so it's a rather cozy aircraft. Here you can see there are liveries, and the notable feature here is there are two versions. There is one that supports the GTN 750s, whether it's the TDS or the other one, the PMS 50. This one, I'm running the PMS 50 in mine, and you can also use their inbuilt GNS 530, the stock one, or the working title mod, which is functional in that, and other stock navigation instruments and weather radar, etc. So let's take a look at the aircraft, shall we? I've got my head turned on already. Good start. Now before I do, I'm going to quickly go over here. I'll click this upper part of the window and open the tablet, because it has a tablet. And I'm going to open all the doors, because doors are fun and we like to mess with them. We could open fuel caps, the hydraulic reservoirs, oil doors, engine doors. We could even show the co-pilot in the cockpit. Hello. Don't know what you're called yet. I'm not giving you a name. We can apply chocks, engine plugs, tie downs, static wicks, PT covers, a GPU which makes noise, which is kind of cool. It's down there. I'm turning that off because it annoys me. And yes, I'm not at Orcas Island right now because it's feeling very bland and washed out colour wise. It's much more vivid here. So I like Selamsey in Austria as my new little dev home, as it were. So as you can see here, we've got tie downs, we've got our wick plugs or covers, chocks, etc. What's rather nice is the engine covers do open. And of course we have our oil plugs there. Hydraulic reservoir back there. Rather cool. And fuel caps as well on the wings. So you can simulate all parts of your walk around. And what I rather like is empty baggage compartment. It's like magic. I go to wait. And for some reason, Payload is now showing blank. There we go. I don't know why I did that. Let's just put £50 in everything. See? Suitcases appear. Let's have a bunch of midgets on the plane. Can I call them that these days? We'll go with that. Children. They'll be children. They're £50. And we're under max takeoff weight, so payload's a little high. Fuel isn't, though, so we should be fine. Now we have items in the stowage that appear with the weight, which is rather cool. I don't think any midgets have appeared in the cockpit, though, unfortunately. Now we can, of course, click on the tables here, which do have nice sound effects, and open those. I will say frame performance of this aircraft in the sim is actually rather good. Let's remember to close our tray tables and put our seats in the upright position, of course, before we get ready to go for this thing. Because I'm going to take us back to the cockpit now, and I'm going to remove all these lovely little features. Now you can open the upper cabin door on its own, but to open the lower you have to open the upper due to it being a sealed door. Those are all off. Let's close our maintenance features. Now of course we do have a wind speed display. We have pre-flight order, and it actually takes us to those things, which is epic cool. I think you'll agree. So we have our checklist as well. Can I open those by clicking on it? I don't know. That could be a possibility. I did look through the manual, which is included on their website, and I didn't read it very well. Well, I read most of it, but I didn't look into the EFB details too much. But if I go up here to our checklists, we do have checklists. Okay. And it will take us to those items. Hello. Yes, and it does highlight the items correctly per the sim to do the things. So let me just quickly, actually, while I have the view set on these, let's set those to where they're meant to be. Right, let's get ourselves started up here and go for a flight. So everything should be good on this regard. Let's pull the rudder lock out. That would be an important one to have. Power can be closed by going to here and clicking there. Again, this is a beta version. This is 1.0 of the beta, 1.1 of the beta, I should say. So it's slightly upgraded, but it is not a finished product, of course. Now, this appears not to want to use any of my alpha controls, which could be a good thing. So our battery, avionics are on there. It will respond to my magnetos, though. And these are our fuel pumps here. So we'll prime our engines. Let's make sure everything is set here. Now, a rather cool feature about this is you can actually click on this screw and hide those levers if you wish to. Not sure why I'd want to, but you can. And whilst we're on the ground here, actually, let me turn my head off again. I'm going to show you night lighting, just so we can get it out of the way before we're doing it in the pattern. So let's go to time. Let's make it nice and dark in here. And I will set the immediate switch here to nighttime lighting. Now we do also have floodlights here, controlled with these. They can help boost our brightness in the cockpit. I'll take it through to complete darkness here. Now we are parked in front of a hangar with lighting, of course. But this is fully scalable. So, mouse wheel. Let's knock these fully off. In terms of actual night flying, and you don't have much glare on the windows at all. You have the instruments lit up to your preference. Of course, there are scalable lights with these rocker switches, so you can dim these as much as you want, which is a really nice feature. There's a lot of depth to this aircraft. Let's make it daylight again, because prepare your eyeballs. There we go. Now we've got the fuel pumps running here. I'm going to prime our left engine. And we're going to go for a left engine start. So clear prop. Good engine start. And we left the throttle down actually, so we need to crack that open a bit more. Let's let that start again. Get engine 2 starting. We have a good start. Let's bring the throttle up. My head turned on here. And our RPM is functional and alive. Okay. Engine instruments are good. Now, of course, we're on 7,000 for Europe. I have control of my... I had the paid version, of course, here of the 750 from the PMS 50 at least. So we do have all these lovely functions. I'll just leave that on the flight plan page or the menu page. Who cares? It's the same difference either way. Let's look outside, shall we? Engine sounds are very throaty, and I do like the fact the sound varies as you go around. Full WY sound. Texturing is rather nice on this aircraft, by the way. That's one thing I had to mention. Now, it does feel worn and old, but not overdone, which is a really nice thing. I will say the viewpoint by standard is a quite extreme one there in terms of being high up and also far forwards. So let's knock this parking brake off. Enough do about talking here on the ground. Let's get this thing turned around here. Let's run over Annabelle over there. Excuse me, I told you to move 10 minutes ago and you didn't, so this is your fault. Okay, let's taxi her down here. Watch out for Nelly over there. Set first stage flaps ready for takeoff here. The aircraft behaves very nicely, I will say. It's a good performer. All the controls and systems you think would work exactly as you expect. Turn the lights off there. We don't need those. Get ourselves taxied down here. I love this worn but not overdone look. It's nice. It feels atmospherically owned. Now to open the windows, you pop the little switch in there, then you pull. Nope, I clicked the lock again. And you will hear a note of engine difference there and wind. Alright, let's put that back down before we get to the end of the taxiway. I will say the bubbly, throaty note of this engine is really nice. And there's definitely a sound drop when you're inside the pressurized cabin, which is realistic. It's not quiet, but it's definitely better. Oh, that sound is so unlike anything else I've heard in the sim. Good side visibility. Okay, let's get ourselves out and about and ready to shout. We have first stage flaps already set. Let's rock and roll, shall we? That engine growl as you throttle up sounds amazing. Okay, we are full throttle. Keeping it straight. Runway's not super long here, but it's long enough to pull back and climb. Gear coming up. Flaps retracting. Props coming back. Engines coming back. Feeling good. We're still climbing and accelerating here. Let's take a little look outside whilst we do that. Oh, hello, we're close. I pressed a button again and it did that locking routine. I should always use this camera when I'm in third person, that way I can actually control the plane still. Sounds are fantastic. They're loud on the outside, they're relatively quiet on the inside, as if you're wearing headphones and you're in a pressurized aircraft. So, more than tolerable. The sun visors do function, they are also a case of click and grab. And you can also move them to the side, should you have the sun over there. Nice. Aircraft works exactly as I would hope. Now let's pull our power back here and get ourselves in a position where we're ready for our approach. It's going to be a little tight with that mountain there, so probably coming from the other direction, but with calm winds, I do like a challenge. And I often feel it shows an aircraft at its best when I put some challenge in there. Autopilots are functional and operational. You've got your nav instruments, of course, transponder. Systems work as intended. Annunciator test, we have all our lighting. The aircraft is delightfully rugged. Oh yeah, we can control lock it as well, which I wouldn't advise when you're in the air. It will not let you. Obvious reasons, you don't want to control lock on when you're in the air. So I'm getting a warning there about the landing gear. We are slow enough, so I'm going to pop that down now. There's our runway. We are quite high up right now, so I'm just going to let ourselves sink down and we'll dogleg the base to final. This is not going to be a correct circuit, but you shouldn't be approaching from the mountainside, I'm pretty sure. But I like doing it because it's fun. Now, the 421s were very capable aircraft. This is no different. Excuse me, no different. Definitely a good handling aircraft. And for a twin, it's got high speed, high performance, good altitude performance, it's turbocharged. So you'll always get exactly what you want from the aircraft. Okay, we're stable. Turn her in for final here. It's going to be a bit of a banking final as we get ourselves lined up and set down here. Feeling a little high up and a little quick, but we'll see how we manage that. This might necessitate a go around. Actually, no. I think we're actually looking decent right now. Airspeed's not climbing. We're losing altitude as intended. In fact, a little more than I'd want, so let's give it a little notch of power. Just to make the touchdown point there. Lands like any twin Cessna. Very well. Ground wheel noise is quite loud, I will say that much. Flaps coming up. Now, I will say for an introductory price, $40 is pretty high, but it's also a very detailed product. I can tell you that just from my first quick read through the manual, my first explore through the aircraft, which I did do before I reviewed this, just to make sure I could find any of those tricky little spots and click zones, so this would be ready. I didn't really fly it beforehand, but I did mess around in the cockpit to work out where everything was with the manual. Now, it performs well. Its sim performance is decent, its texture quality is rather nice. I love this worn look, and compare this to their Widgeon that came out, which was almost a straight copy across of their FSX aircraft. This is nothing like it. This is really well done. The texturing is nice, the performance is good in the sim. Its options in terms of stock avionics and or this double GTN 750 setup is really nice. In the stock version you'll get a 530 here, or here, weather radar over here, and some other navigation instruments and flight computers, including the GNS 330, or the Garmin 330 system. So you've got options to use, whether you have this or not. Now, this works with the freeware version, by the way, of this. So you can just get the freeware GTN and use that in here. Full integration of this and the TDS. So you have good options to use there. Not a lot I can say wrong about this aircraft, honestly. The low introductory price followed by a higher release price is not uncommon. And for what I would equate to being a relatively study level-esque release, this is quite a good product and definitely worthy of that sort of pricing. You have plenty of options for what you want to actually operate in the aircraft. Let's turn those off a second. Turn our mags off as well. And we'll head back outside briefly. Now, this is another thing. Listen to that cooling metal sound. Yeah. That's nice. That's something you don't get in every aircraft and something I absolutely love. Really, really nice feature there. Is this a get it or an avoid it? I'd say this is a pretty solid get it if this is your kind of aircraft. If you like twins, it's got livery options, it's got avionics options, it's a great flyer. Personally, I prefer the unpressurized version if it's an aesthetics thing, because I don't like the small circular pressurized windows, but they're both great aircraft. Fantastic performer, quick, nimble, flies well, tons of features to play with, will definitely keep you occupied. So what's my opinion? That'd be a solid go get it. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.